and follow me through the slides and the presentation to see more about what we have for you today. And as starting, this is the webinar. This is the agenda for today's discussion. The first on the agenda is opening remarks to be delivered by the PSI president, Dr. Ibrahim Jato, which happened to be the one. And then we have the welcome address by the chairman of the occasion, pharmacist Abbas Sambo, who is in Swipha, Nigeria. And then we have presentation from our experts who are already here. Number one, we have Pharm Umar I, Ahmed from Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, who will give us a presentation on digital entrepreneurship. And then we have Engineer Haruna, who will also give us on renewable energy. Then Pharm Hamisu Hassan will talk about career in global health, procurement, and supply management. And then we'll round up with Engr Jamil Abdullah, who will give us a talk on career opportunities in financial service industry. Then we'll have panel discussion and question and answer session to be chaired by the moderator, Pharm Abbas Sambo. And then we have closing remarks, presentation of certificates to our invited guest, and it will be delivered by the PSI Deputy President, Dr. Abubakar Shaban. Starting with opening remark, which, like I said, I'm the one to give. My name is Ibrahim Jato Abubakar from the Department of Health, Tasmania in Australia. I will start with an overview of PSI for those who don't know what and who PSI is, which is Pharmacy Scholars Initiative. So it is a forum for mentorship network for pharmacists with keen interest in research and career development. This is how we started, and now we are even expanding it to include even those who are from non-pharmacy background. And this forum was founded in December 2017, I could say 1st December specific, and then it is currently registered with the CAC, that's Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria. And we have membership from all over the world. I could say from all the continents we have members. And we do our programs. Initially, it was weekly, but because of the super tight schedule with most of our members, so we made it bi-weekly. So in every 2 weeks, we normally have some webinars. And then we have research collaboration and a lot of other guidance and mentorship on career development and advancing education. So today's webinar, like I said from the beginning, we went a little bit step ahead, and we're doing it in the form of expert panel discussion, where we invited international experts in pharmacy and non-pharmacy fields to brainstorm an idea on how a pharmacy can explore, can go beyond his boundaries, can go beyond his scope, beyond his walls, to explore other opportunities to make himself more helpful to the community. And like I said, it is going to be chaired by Pharm Abbas Sambo, who most of those in the pharmacy arena know him. So about today's panel discussion, we call it more than just a pharmacist, meaning being a pharmacist, you are not just a pharmacist. There is a lot you can offer and you can explore in the community and to help the community. So anybody who passed through pharmacy school, he knows how robust the training was and what he went through. It is super comprehensive training. So coming out with this training, so there is a lot of some diversified careers that one can explore and contribute to the community, especially with the current advancement in information technology and alternative energy. So there's a lot one can venture into and to make some financial stability. So the main aim of this webinar is, number one, to motivate pharmacists to explore entrepreneurial opportunities, which are mostly around them, and equip themselves with the knowledge and inspiration to pursue diverse career paths and provide valuable services, and also to inspire pharmacists, mostly the upcoming pharmacists like me, to embrace entrepreneurship and explore career opportunities beyond just the traditional pharmacy roles that we are into. So what we are saying is there's a lot outside the pharmacy world that you can explore and you can still make it in life. And you can see from the experts as discussion continues. So I use this, or we use this like a concept framework just to further explain about what this more than just a pharmacy idea is all about, because knowing this framework will assist the participant to know more about the direction of the discussion. So just like a pharmacy who freshly finished from the university or just finished his pharmacy registration. And this is the stigma we have. I'm just a pharmacist. So what we are saying theoretically through this through this webinar, that is more than just a pharmacist, you'll be able to, or you'll be inspired or motivated to explore in areas of alternative energy, which we have an expert here with us. And you can also go into telecommunication. We have so many pharmacies there excelling. We have into properties, into finance, and also into agri and non-governmental organization. And one of the experts is from this sector, and he has a lot to share with us. And above all, what we are all after is financial freedom, especially with the global economic ups and downs. I think one should really need to be financially stable, and that's the whole idea. And so this is all the basic of what this webinar is all about, and you will listen to the experts. Going to the next into the item is an announcement that we always make while we are having this webinar. This webinar is being recorded, and after recording, we are going to upload the recordings in our YouTube channel, and the link to the YouTube channel, the lecture slides, and your certificate will be shared with you through your emails. That is where we share a link to Google Form, where we ask you to provide your emails, your name as you want it to be on the certificate. And then at the end, we'll send the lecture materials, the certificate, and the slides to all your emails address. And please, if you have any other issues, you can contact us. You can provide the feedback through the feedback form, or for those who have our email, and the email will be posted on the chat box so you can contact us. And also, since this is a panel discussion, we expect to have a lot of questions from you participants. So you can use the chat box in the Zoom to send your questions. And also the chairman will give a time where you'll be allowed to raise up your hand and make some questions and observations. The next item on the agenda is the welcome address by the chairman of today's webinar, who is Pharmacist Abbas Sambo. So before allowing him to make his presentation, I would like to introduce our chairman to you for those who do not know about him very well. So Pharmacist Abbas Sambo is an MBA graduate and also an MSc in corporate governance from Leeds Bucket University in UK. And he has over 30 years experience in pharma industry. And he was instrumental in Swipha becoming the first pharma company to be WHO pre-qualified in West and Central Africa. And he is currently the fellow of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, fellow West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists. He's also a fellow of Nigeria Academy of Pharmacy and a fellow leadership for environment and sustainable development. Sir, the floor is yours for your welcome address, sir. Pharmacist Abbas Sambo.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first PSI webinar series. It's indeed a pleasure to have all of you here. And to start, please, my first slide, go back to the previous slide. Back. Yeah. No, the second. Yeah. So the next slide, please. Yes. Next slide. Next slide. So just to say that please go back to the first slide. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the PSI initiative. The PSI initiative is a webinar series that is being done to educate pharmacists. We as pharmacists started our career with graduating as a pharmacist. And as we graduated as pharmacists, we had various career options. One of the career options we had was academics. Some were in hospitals, some in retail, as well as the industry. In the industry, we have plenty of people in different departments, sales and marketing, some in research, some in the laboratories. So when you graduate as a pharmacist, because of your wealth of technical experience that you have acquired in pharmacy, you are given the basic information to survive. However, if you look at the various categories, the various career paths that we have, it is all available immediately you graduate. So the traditional pharmaceutical role is what we have. Now, what we'll be discussing about just a pharmacist is because there's continual improvement since we do not operate in a vacuum. We have continual improvement and opportunities in the environment. We have pharmacists, as has been mentioned, working in the telecoms, working in the industry, and banking. What we'll be discussing today is to zero down on 4 topics: digital entrepreneurship, global supply chain, alternative energy, and finance. Today, if you do not know much about digital economy, or you don't know anything about digital, and you are still not amenable to change, you will be considered as an illiterate. Global supply chain and the COVID has shown us that it is important that we know supply chain. Finance. Yes, everybody is interested in finance. And we in the medical field, we always say, check your numbers. Check your numbers in hypertension. Check your numbers in diabetes. But for you to be successful, you also need to check your numbers. Check your numbers in the business dynamics. So you check your financial ratios as well. Energy is also very important. The energy aspect is important, particularly for efficiency and sustainable development. The 4 topics that have been selected, digital entrepreneurship, global supply, academy, and finance, are very important for both our personal and for our business needs. Today, these 4 topics have been taken and are relevant in everything that we do. For you to be successful in your career opportunities, you need to have a basic information about all these 4 different aspects. These aspects are important and will be part of the discussions in today's engagement. Finally, what is the objective of having this discussion today? We want to inspire pharmacists to explore career opportunities beyond the traditional roles. Opportunities are bound, and therefore we need to explore that. We want to also encourage pharmacists to embrace entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a good venture. A lot of pharmacists have done entrepreneurship and are doing quite well. For example, you have pharmacists that are into multinationals. You have pharmacists that are into unique ventures like medical writing, pharmacist Atui. You also have pharmacists like Pharmacy Alliance, who is very much into retail networking, able to have access to over 150 retail outlets, managing a portfolio of about 10 billion naira. So it's important that we have an open mindset towards career opportunities. Yes, pharmacy is good. Yes, we are proud of pharmacy, but it's important to have a mindset. And for you to have, to appreciate this mindset, you also need to continually improve in your learning. It's important to always seek for knowledge and to improve. Now, we also need to be open to, you need to also be open to innovation. Innovation will come when you are able to have knowledge and appreciate the skills that you have. Ladies and gentlemen, pharmacists do not operate in a vacuum. Pharmacists operate in an environment. The environment is dynamic and the environment keeps on changing. And as it keeps on changing, you need to scan the environment for opportunities. Therefore, welcome me today as we move into the journey of discovery of pharmacy opportunities beyond the traditional pharmacy role. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, sir, for this interesting welcome address, and it's very impactful. Without wasting of time, we'll start the main webinar proper, and I'll start with pharmacist Ahmed Umar from Aminu Teaching Hospital. Before allowing him to start talking, I'll introduce our speaker to the audience. So, pharmacist Umar Ahmed is a graduate of University of Jos, Plateau State, which we normally call it UniJos, and he's currently the head of production in the drug manufacturing unit of AKTH, Kano, and he's a fellow of West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacists. And Pharmacist Ahmed is a member of International Society for Pharmacoepidemiology in Bethesda. He's a member of Commonwealth Pharmacy Association, a member of International Pharmaceutical Federation, and he holds the traditional title of Magayak Nzalaw in his home state of Bauchi State, Nigeria. Please, without wasting much time, I will welcome Pharmacist Umar I. Ahmed to present his slides. Sir, the podium is yours, sir. Hello, sir. How's Ahmed?
I hope we're not losing.
Hello, sir. We cannot hear you, sir.
Mal Ahmed, you are muted.
Yeah, mute. I think maybe you have to unmute your.
Oh, sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and whatever the time may be for those of us that are joining from different time zones that are different from Nigeria, Nigeria. I want to start by, while I have 15 minutes, I would like to take the indulgence of Mr. Chairman to first of all appreciate him. Actually, we've been working with him for the past 3 weeks. In the case of Dr. Prime, the past 2 months or 3 months trying to prepare this webinar. And my impression of the chairman is that the fidelity and efficiency of his work is such that there still be 2 impressions. Number one is that of fear. That of fear whether our own generation will be able to replace their own generation in terms of efficiency and with the same level of fidelity and results. The other one is that of a strong sense of appreciation. Having given him a very short notice, yet he was able to provide leadership, total leadership. Now, for the head of the Pharmacy Scholars Initiative, Dr. Ibrahim Jato, we've been together for almost months trying to come up with an idea like this. Dr. Ibrahim Jato has handled the secretariat very well, and then we thank you for that. There are other presenters like Hamisu Hassan. Hamisu Hassan has been up and down, and they're trying to find out whatever is going on at every minute. The engineers, Engr Jamil and the other Engr Haruna, have all contributed their ways in the few days preceding this webinar. Now, mine is to present on digital entrepreneurship in Nigeria, the opportunities, the challenges, and the future trends. But just as a rider to that presentation, I would like us to understand the fact that pharmacists, before becoming a pharmacist, every of the almost 30,000 pharmacists in the register of the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria, before becoming a pharmacist, was first of all an educated person. And one very feature of education is versatility and the ability to work in virtually every environment that one finds itself. So the fundamental objective behind this webinar is the understanding that it will not be too prudent if we say we limit the responsibility of the pharmacist to the traditional roles of the hospital, the productions of medicines, probably administrative responsibilities, and community pharmacies. The empirical evidence has shown that pharmacists are there in banks, pharmacists are there in renewable energy, pharmacists are there in so many sectors of the economy, and they are doing well. And we feel that we see a situation in the coming days. Moving forward, where pharmacists are going to contribute more and more and more in the future. So this is the outline of my presentation. I'm going to make a short definition.
I think so, some people are saying they cannot hear you very well, and it's like
okay. How audible am I?
And I saw
am I very audible?
No, you're audible,
maybe,
but the voice is not very clear. I think that's what they are saying.
Yeah,
am I
maybe
very audible?
Are you using two devices?
Are you
It's more of an
using
echo
earpiece?
rather than not being audible.
Okay. Please, can you just give me 1 second? Can you give me 1 second?
Okay, sir.
Is it any better? Hello? Is it any better?
Yes. So I think it's better now.
It's better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I apologize for the inaudibility in the last few seconds. So what I'm trying to say is that education, as it is, has a future of versatility, and that every pharmacist that is on the register of the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria must have become an educated person before he becomes a pharmacist. Now, to limit pharmacists to the traditional role of the hospital, drug production, administration, and community pharmacy will not be too prudent, because largely the empirical evidence has proven otherwise. Our chairman has an experience of a director in First Bank that's a pharmacist. We have experience of heads of parastatals that are pharmacists that do not have even the slightest tangential relationship with the academic learning of pharmacy. But it only has relationship with the fact that we have a broad frame of mind that looks at the opportunities available, and that also looks at the requirement of a changing world. We have a world that is in very, very, very fast transition, and unless a profession is able to keep with the speed at which the world is moving, that profession is actually going to be extinct. And we have professions on the verge of extinction, much in the same way that we have species of animals that are threatened with extinction. We have professions that are threatened with extinction. So if you don't evolve, you get threatened with extinction. So the outline of my presentation, I will start with definition of key concepts, the digital landscape in Nigeria. I will caption something like change begins at home. I will look at the key sectors in digital entrepreneurship, the success stories, the opportunities for digital entrepreneurs, the challenges faced by digital entrepreneurs, the strategies for success, future trends, and then I will conclude, and then there will be call to action. Next slide. Now, what is digital entrepreneurship? Basically, digital entrepreneurship is the employment of digital tools, either in the creation, in the management, or in the advancement of a business. What are digital tools? Surrounded in this pictograph, as you can see, are so many icons. the first of which is artificial intelligence tools. In any venture of digital nature that you are going to carry out, you naturally, eventually cannot do without having to do artificial intelligence. Or if you are able to succeed without artificial intelligence, the only thing that can be said of you is that you would have done better if you had some kind of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will give you a lot of predictive data based on retrospective data. Let me cite an example. If you are a type that is into energy, and then you have a mapping of the energy requirements of Kano, and then their income levels, now that the electricity distribution companies have come up with banding, band A, band B, band C, band D, and band Z. Now, if, for example, you are into solar or into any form of energy, you are more likely to succeed in areas where there is shorter numbers of hours of supply of electricity from the grid. How are you going to know that? This is where artificial intelligence comes in. Artificial intelligence will be able to give you a mapping of where your most likely patronage is going to come from. It is going to now target those most likely customers of yours that are going to patronize you by looking at what the data was and what the trend was before, and then it will now make an extrapolation and forecast of what the trend is likely going to be. So digital entrepreneurship will naturally benefit from this kind of artificial intelligence forecast. Emails, any business venture that involves having to communicate with people and receive feedback will naturally require an email. It has been the traditional form of communication before the advent of the social media and all that is. Then virtual meeting apps. The virtual meetings we have now is we have Dr. Ibrahim from Howard in Australia. We have Dr. Abubakar at the background from Cardiff. We have other people from other sections of the country, like the chairman that is from Lagos. How would it look like if you will have to meet those people in an analog way? That is having to print a hard copy and then having to share with them and then having to now set time and then the time may not be convenient with the other person, business meetings and things like that. But it has now become, through digital entrepreneurship, possible for us to meet in real time.
Hello, sir.
People, and it became a little bit funny. I said, in the modern times, if you do not have any Android, iOS, or any device that allows you to be on the social media, then you naturally don't have, you are in coma. Your death counts when you don't appreciate mobile phones capabilities, and you are worried when you don't appreciate artificial intelligence, productivity tools, collaboration, our software, and e-health. I'm being told that I have 5 minutes, so we have to rush a bit faster. The next slide. So what is the digital landscape in Nigeria? The digital landscape in Nigeria is favorable and fertile for digital entrepreneurship. Number one, over 50% of Nigerians have internet access. That is the fertile ground. The mobile connectivity, we have a very high mobile connectivity of over 190 out of 220 million Nigerians having mobile phones in their hands. Now, the digital infrastructure, yes, for network connectivity, but the Nigeria Communication Commission is doing something to expand the existing 4G network and then roll out the 5G technology. The next slide. All these three are fertile ground for the growth of digital entrepreneurship. Now change begins at home. What makes me caption this one? Even the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria that made you or me a pharmacist before 2020 were receiving background noises from younger members of the pharmacy profession regarding the fact that we need to have some kind of virtual pharmacist, some kind of digital pharmacist. It was this background noise that made the then Pharmacist Council of Nigeria to look at its enabling act, which is the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria Act, Chapter 17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria in 2004, and then use the powers conferred on it to make regulations, and then come up with the online pharmacy regulations gazette that was gazetted. So I provided a hyperlink here where you can access that. So it started from home with the realization that not everybody that is sick that is going to have to go to a pharmacy and now request for treatment physically. Some may require some form of electronic delivery of medicines. Now, what are the key sectors in digital entrepreneurship? E-commerce, which you all know, Jumia, which we call the Amazon of Africa. It is the first e-commerce platform in Africa to be listed in the New York Stock Exchange with a total capital share of over $200 million at that time. And we have fintech innovations in mobile payment like the Paystack, the Flutaway, all these words were made by young Nigerians. And then we have educational technology, we have Coursera, we have Udemy, we have other platforms of learning and then knowledge acquisition. All these ones have meant that Nigerians that are digital entrepreneurs can acquire talents and can acquire skills and can participate as well as entrepreneurs by creating content and then uploading them onto such media and then become entrepreneurs by becoming resource persons on Coursera, resource persons on Udemy, and things like that. We have health technology, where we have digital health solutions, and telemedicine, which was what I talked about earlier regarding the change in the legislation that permitted virtual access to medicine. What is the success story? Jumia, still I can't say it enough, became the leading e-commerce platform in Nigeria and expanded across Africa. And even Eastern Africa and Morocco, there is Jumia there. Paystack is now an international payment platform. So I recall having to pay AliExpress via Paystack. And the Andela is also recognized for training software developers and connecting them with global tech companies. Next slide. Next slide. Opportunities for digital entrepreneurship. The demographic advantage Nigeria poses is that 25% of our youthful population is under the age. More than 60% of the population of Nigeria is under the age of 35. More than 70% is under the age of 30. That is the fertile ground for digital entrepreneurship, because digital entrepreneurship requires curiosity, and curiosity is only found within that age group. You cannot be curious at 90 and then begin to say that you are going to have digital entrepreneurship venture at the age of 90. No, it's not possible. There are government initiatives largely through NIDA, National Information Technology Development Agency, and through the National Social Investment Program and Digital Innovation Hub. Unfortunately, the one in Kano has been burnt down during the protest. There are investment opportunities. There are venture capitals. There are venture capitalists that have money, but they are willing to invest in your idea and then in exchange for equities. Next slide. Next slide. What are the challenges? The challenges are the challenges faced by any other entrepreneur. The infrastructural deficit we have, inconsistent power supply, the internet connectivity, and then the fact that every entrepreneur in Nigeria will have to pay himself back, the provision of electricity in his back, and the problem with the Nigerian public sector is that it does not deal in a friendly manner with entrepreneurs. I recall the richest black man in Africa last 2 weeks saying that in the judgment day, God will say, where are those entrepreneurs from Nigeria? And when they raise up their hand, they say, okay. God will say, okay, you are not going to be punished twice. You have been punished by Nigerian regulatory authorities while you are in the other world. So it will not be fair for me to punish you here. Just go to heaven. That is how bad it is regarding the approach of the Nigerian regulatory authorities towards upcoming entrepreneurs. That is if the richest black man in Africa is going to say that, what more of upcoming startups that are maybe going to start baking or tailoring or something? Have difficulty in accessing early stage funding and venture capital. The next slide. Strategy for sector to leverage on mobile technology, which I've earlier mentioned. In the past 200 or 100 years, the most important technological invention has been the invention of the mobile phone. It has democratized information, has socialized information, and access it. You no longer have to maybe pay for 1.9 million naira to publish on a newspaper. You can simply access and publish it on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social media apps that are mobile phones. Building local partnership and collaboration with like-minded startups and focus on customer experience and feedback, enhance user experience to build trust and loyalty. Now, next slide. What are the future trends? Future trends lies in AI and machine learning, increasing use of AI in various sectors from finance to health, blockchain technology, which has become, which is big now, children around between the teenagers trying to continue mining in cryptocurrency and things like that. That is the future. We don't have to blend them. We don't have to now castigate them. That is, no one can stop an activity whose time has come. Then remote work and freelancing. You wouldn't want to say that everyone will have to be coming to office. What the COVID taught us was that you can freelance and you can do remote working. Next slide. The conclusion. Before I conclude, the purpose of this presentation is not an academic one. It is not meant to be an exhaustive presentation on digital entrepreneurship. It is meant to stimulate discussion in the 48 hours allotted for discussion. It is simply a pitch-deck presentation to stimulate discussion in the time allotted for discussion in the agenda. So Nigeria offers a fertile ground for digital entrepreneurship with significant opportunities and some challenges. The call to action is that we emphasize the importance of innovation, we emphasize the importance of resilience and strategic planning for aspiring digital entrepreneurs. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of myself, I will conclude and start.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Pharmacist Umar, for the wonderful presentation. I am aware you have a lot of passion for this topic, and you can go on and on for the whole day. Sorry, we need to just stop here. We have a great opportunity for about 45 minutes during the question and answer session for people to further engage with you. Before our next presenter, I would like to suggest that if anybody has question for Pharmacist Umar, he should also send it to the chat as we prepare for the next presentation. Pharmacist Ibrahim, can we have the next presenter,
yes,
please?
All right. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, Pharm Ahmed, for this amazing presentation. We have learned a lot. So on the agenda, our next presentation is Pharmacist Haruna Inua.
Pharmacist.
Engineer, apologies. Engineer Haruna Inua. Engineer Haruna Inua is a technology consultant, and he's a goal-oriented professional with over 5 years of experience in industries like oil and gas, renewable energy, and enterprise digital transformation. He's a certified SAP application consultant, selected as one of the top 1% of young professionals for the SAP YPP West Africa 2 program, and recognized as the city winner of the Multi-City Africa Challenge 2020. Haruna currently leads production accounting as a business technology consultant and serves as a lead content creator for the Society of Petroleum Engineers International's The Way Ahead magazine, He holds a master's degree in production and industrial engineering with distinction and a first-class honors degree in petroleum engineering with research interest in emerging technologies. So overall, he started as an engineer and ended up with diverse area of practice. With this little introduction, we welcome Engineer Haruna for his presentation. Engineer Haruna, if you are ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sure. Yes, you are audible.
Sorry, Engineer Haruna, you can unmute yourself again, please.
Yeah, sorry, I had to attend to somebody. Sorry.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, wherever you are dialing in from. My name is Haruna Inua. So I would be like sharing a few talks about the energy industry as regards to career options, basically for non-conventional degrees. I would like to extend my thanks to the chair and also the organizing committee, and particularly my friend Jamilu for bringing me in. I think I got to know about this yesterday, and I was like, let's do this. I'll be sharing a few things regarding the renewable energy industry and also career opportunities, also leveraging these opportunities based on coming from the non-conventional degree background. Also, key skills that you need to actually use to get more opportunities within this industry, because a lot of more opportunities are within. Regardless of your degree, regardless of your background, I think you get to see going forward. Then we'll see the path forward. I think you can go to the next slide. So basically, there is no need to talk about more about the renewable energy industry. I think we are all victims of energy poverty. Coming from Nigeria, I think all of us has a fraction of story regarding how we actually find ourselves in a difficult situation to even have access to energy for just 5 hours. So I think it's something that we can resonate with and also think about what is the possible solution. Currently, we have a centralized system where you have the generating companies and you have the TCN coming in to transfer the generated power to this discourse. The discourse will not distribute it for domestic and industrial users. If you look at the structure in Nigeria, the electricity infrastructure in Nigeria is really, really poor. And the best way to go about it is to have a decentralized system, which you are talking about having access to bringing more non-fossil fuels to the discussion, to your energy mix. And if you look at it today, whether you or your neighbor or anybody, you get to know that someone is using solar in their houses, and which will get to tell you that the market is big, because in Nigeria currently we have over 200 million people, and more than half of our population have no access to energy, which means the energy crisis here in Nigeria requires more attention. And many people, sorry to say, fail to trust the government to take care of this sector. So what is the option? The option is to invest in the sector, and by getting your own energy, which can actually help you. Energy is something that you need. It's something that you need to carry out function based on, like, you can't really live without it. So it's something that should tell you that if I need water every day, that means if I need electricity to log into this webinar, to listen to this expert, to listen to this discussion, to help me, to help mind shift regarding my future career choices, that means I really need to have access to energy. So basically, this is an overview. We are moving from fossil fuels. Anytime you hear about fossil fuels, these are basically the hydrocarbons, basically the coal, and also the oil and gas. So even though in some cases gas is considered as to be more greener than oil. So this is not really discussion about carbon emission and stuff like that. But key players within the renewable energy sector is solar, wind energy, hydro, and biomass. And I think for Nigeria, looking at our energy mix, I think hydro contributes to a significant factor to that. I don't know about wind energy projects, but a lot of them coming up. But for solar, we have many solar housing systems that we are having in our homes. Not really quite a number of them, but a lot of more things are happening within the market. At the global trends, there is a lot of discussion regarding carbon emission, and also by 2050 reaching out to the I think sustainable energy goals and reducing the carbon emission. So a lot of attention has been given to this sector, which means a lot of investment is happening. A lot of investment happening in this sector, meaning that a lot of opportunities, regardless of where you are coming from, because this is not really like a sector that has been there in the first century. This is the sector that is currently getting more attention. So you just prepare yourself and the opportunities are there. And one thing that you take in your mind is the job market growth. The market is growing from supply chain to innovation to also consulting and policy, because you have companies are very restricted to compelled to these laws on the ground, limiting their carbon emission and also their ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance. So you can go to next slide. Okay. I think since the engineering roles basically talk about design and innovation, and I think coming from pharmacy background, innovation is something that is inbuilt. Like, doesn't matter if you are an engineer or you study Hausa or you study pharmacy or you study medicine. Like, innovation comes from within. It's your ability to think how to make things better. And I think any innovation, any technology that cannot really address a societal problem is a waste. You talk about Zoom that came during COVID, and all of a sudden the market share went up, and a lot of people are utilizing Zoom. So like, it's an innovation. Like there is a problem on ground and you create something and the market will just be there for you. So as a pharmacist, whether it doesn't matter, like there is something within your field, there is a problem within your field. How do you innovate and how do you design for tomorrow's energy? You talk about the interlinkage between pharmacy and also energy needs. And if you can come up with something, be it within the supply chain metrics, be it within even local pharmacies accessing power instead of waiting for discourse to provide power for them, you can create something. You can develop a good problem statement within. And also research and development. I think this is one area that requires a lot of investment, but people in academic environments, really people that are doing PhD, MSc, and also even research consultants, these are the cases that they will develop and look for grants. And if it's something that is economically viable, you definitely have investors. I think pharmacists are the first presenter talk about venture capital, and which is currently one of the sought after career within the global technology industry. So you have investors, right? And you have the idea, which is, if you have something that will fly, why not? You present it, you pitch, and you get your idea invested by the investor. So project management, I think this is something that everyone can learn. And if you can, something that you learn on the job and also take courses on it. I wouldn't really spend much time on this. Sales and marketing, I think I have some friends within the pharmacy, and a lot of them are doing well within sales and marketing, and this is not really a new topic to them, and this is not really new topic to the attendees and also the experts here. So I'll pass it on. What I would say is consultancy and policy advocacy. All right, quite right now there is a shift between fossil fuels to this renewable energy sector, and you need a lot of policy and within the policy, and you need a lot of implementation adherence, right? The only people that can do this are people within the industry. For example, you can't bring somebody from a pharmaceutical background and talk about how to develop policy in oil and gas industry without having relevant working experience. So you talk about how this is, even in Nigeria, how pharmaceutical industry can leverage the energy landscape with regards to the renewable energy. You talk about what is happening within the manufacturing scaling up of drugs within Nigeria, because I believe that we don't really have enough manufacturing pharmaceutical manufacturing companies here in Nigeria. You talk about what are the factors. Energy could be a factor, quite all right. You talk about that, and there are many companies. I think you go through the big four like Deloitte, KPMG, they have the energy consulting arm of that. I think Demilo will talk about more about financial services. And you talk about management consulting firm like McKinsey, Ben, and BCG. These are the companies that offers consultancy and policy advocacy based on this energy landscape in this sector, renewable energy sector. So people that will do this, they are pharmacists, right? And these are the opportunities that you should look beyond, like just being a pharmacy within the maybe a health sector, or maybe within the sales and marketing structure. That's the supply chain. Next slide, please. Okay. I think I have spoken about this in the first slide. So, but I'll add something. I think having a degree, it's just like a giving you everything that you need in life. Like with that degree, regardless of what you study, I've come across people within the financial industry that studied pharmacy. I've come across people from medical background that are doing quite well within the energy sector. Currently, I think the CEO of Engr Nigeria is a medical doctor. He started a career as a medical doctor at Shell. Now he's leading one of the biggest gas processing company in Nigeria and across West Africa. So think about this. You have somebody like Tolu Ogunlesi, who was the SA to the president on digital communication. He studied pharmacy in University of Ibadan, but in his second degree, he got a creative writing, right? And from there, you move to Accenture. From Accenture, you move around. And later, you got appointed as a senior special assistant to the president. These are the people that you look at their career trajectory, and you believe like we study the same course. And I think if these people can do it, why not me? And these people have only one head. And I don't think there is anything difficult in doing all these things. Trust me, if you have the mindset within you, I think you can make a breakthrough. So there is a skill transfer. One of my mentors tell me that excellence is transferable. If you are a good pharmacist, you can always do other sector, right? Regardless of whether you have it here now or later. If you are really good in something, you can perform everywhere because excellence is transferable. And yeah, in fact, your pharmaceutical background can be like an advantage when you look at other things that you do. Problem solving. I think this is a skill that's not only a pharmacy that needs a pharmacist that needs it, but every one of us. I think I will not really spend much time. And breaking barriers. Well, I'll talk about this case of Tolu Ogunlesi and Shelia, the current MD and CEO of Energy. Next slide, please. Okay. I think these are generic. I think these are basic skills that everyone will look at, and I'm not really a good fan. I'm sorry to say I'm not really a good fan of skills rather than certificates, but I'm saying that if you really want to do well in a different sector, you look at what are the sought after skills within that sector. And once you understand, okay, maybe I want to do renewable energy. So what are the skills within the industry? Does it require adaptability, sustainability, technical proficiency, networking? Fine. You look at those things and tick it as you go ahead. So any sector you are moving, whether oil and gas, whether renewable energy, whether financial service, there are unique skill sets requires for everyone within that sector. And you need to identify those skills and for you to actually succeed within that sector. Next slide. All right. I think this is my last slide. I think one of the things that I always tell people is that in life, you need to know what you want, right? The fact that you study pharmacy, you do it because you wanted to do something, right? There is a passion, there is something that actually attracted you with being a pharmacist. So you need to know your niche, your craft. You need to know it. You need to know what you really want in life. Once you know what you want in life, then you continue learning. Because if you have a good learning intention, you survive everywhere. The world is fast changing. Today you talk about digital transformation. Tomorrow you find yourselves elsewhere. But if you are a survivor, like if you have a good learning intention, you survive everywhere, regardless of today AI is going to make this one non-performing job or whatever. If you know your stuff, you survive everywhere, whether AI, whether, and yeah. And the mentorship, look up to something. I think we have a great set of people here. Look up to them, ask them questions, be curious, be crazy. It's only when you ask, you get to know stuff. And these are the people that you should look up to. And don't feel shy, don't feel like uncomfortable with asking people questions. Everyone started from somewhere, and you too can start from somewhere. Embracing change. The future is great, honestly, because you need to even not only in Nigeria, around the world, our population is increasing, and we need to augment our energy sources. And renewable energy is one sector that's actually going to complement the global energy structure. And yes, start today because opportunities are knocking. Thank you very much. I need to drop from this call as I have another one. Engineer Engr Jamil and everyone on this panel, thank you very much for the opportunity. And if there is anything, I think I'm in the WhatsApp group. I've been added in the WhatsApp group, and I'll be in touch. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Engineer Haruna. Just before you go, I would like to thank you on behalf of the PSI. You are actually somebody that we are proud of. We gave you less than 8 hours to prepare for this presentation. You have shown commitment, you have shown competence, you have shown integrity. So I commend you. And this is the kind of attitude that we want from young men. Thank you. You've also done very well. Renewable energy discussion is a very important discussion that is ongoing globally, and Nigeria without an exception. The pharmaceutical industry has a lot to gain. I can tell you that we have over 100 functioning manufacturing pharmaceutical industry companies that are in Nigeria. Some of the companies, for example, the one in which I work, we are into renewable energy. About 30% of our operation is through solar. We have been able to install solar. We also have an environmental policy where we take into account various aspects of the environment. Particularly, we use the 3R, reuse, reduce, and recycle. We do that. So it's very important that you talked about that, and thank you for the opportunity. I think also for the young men, you could see that even though Engineer Haruna is an engineer, he has taken time to develop skill and competencies in this aspect. I think some of the ways you could go about it is to go and register for this ISO series. We have ISO 14,000 series, which talks about environmental management system. And then there's the 50,000 series, 50,000, which talks about reducing or managing energy efficiency. So thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate you. Pharmacist Ibrahim, can we have, so please send your questions to the chat box while we prepare for the next presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Just to recap of what we did before, this webinar is organized by Pharmacy Scholars Initiative, and it is a panel discussion where we invited experts in various fields to discuss about this issue of exploring non-pharmacy aspects. And then at the end, after the presentation, we have a session where we'll answer all your questions you posted on the chat box, and we'll give you opportunity to ask questions directly to the presenters. So our next and the session is chaired by Pharmacist Abbas Sambo from Swipha Nigeria. And the next on the presentation is Pharmacist Hamisu Hassan, who is the Senior Procurement and Supply Management Expert from ResulsinHealth, Abuja, Nigeria. Before handing him the mic, I'll introduce the guest speaker to us. Pharm Hamisu holds BSc in Pharmacy from ABU Zaria and has an MSc in International Management of Health Systems from the University of Liverpool in the UK. And he has over 15 years of experience working with the Ministry of Health and the NAFDAC. He has over 10 years of experience in supply chain management, normally in malaria and injection safety commodities. Hamisu has worked for ESG-supported projects in various procurement and logistic advisory positions. He's currently with ResulsinHealth Abuja, supporting the global health fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria in Nigeria and in Malawi, a country in Africa. Sir, your presentations, please.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and I also have a disclaimer, please. My presentation is not meant to target anybody. I'm just presenting it as a generic presentation. So if you feel in the course of my discussion, I discuss your situation, please, it's not meant to be so. Secondly, I would love to be as informal as possible so that I will make it as fast as I can, because 15 minutes, to be honest, is not enough for me as far as what I have planned to discuss. Next slides, please. The outline of my presentation is introduction, which I've started, pharmacist career, the past, present, and the future. Then opportunities in global health procurement and supply management. Then opportunities in humanitarian logistics and other logistics too that you see, like the immunization supply chain. And then way forward. So now, let me start the next slide, please. Okay, good. So now, when we were in the university as pharmacy students, we had in mind what we want to become after being a pharmacist. And I can remember then, the medical reps were the most attracted professionals. You see them come with their Glasgow world leaders in pharmaceutical vehicles. Apologies to the chairman, you will see him in his Roche green vehicle. Siba, Pfizer, Smail Idris, I've seen you. So then that was that aspect. Then in the past, look at the hospital practice. It was an interesting environment to work. Commodities were there, the satisfaction was there, and all sort of things. Look at the academic pharmacists. We know how we envy those that graduate and get absorbed as graduate assistants because it was attractive then. Then look at the industrial pharmacy, very interesting field. So as pharmacists far back in the past, we had more opportunities, more credibility, and the prestige is there. But where do we find ourselves now? You see a pharmacist like a beggar. You see a pharmacy in the community practice. Then community practice, if you remember, during those days in Kaduna, especially the Ishara, the Osbood, how they practice excellently aesthetic and rewarding. But now look at how the economy has completely changed our dynamics in this country. It has completely changed our dynamics. So why do we want to go in line with those things that have caused a lot of havoc into the profession? So we need to really think outside the box. We need to socialize. We need to interact. If I say socialize, if you don't interact with the system, that intellectual intellect that you're supposed to make a decision about what you want to do may not be there. Let me just give you a typical example. We know senior by, I'm sorry, I'm talking in as far as ABU is concerned, because that was where I know best. Those of us that were top, well, I don't know, I was not part of those that would see Neighbor Dry. You know, see Neighbor Dry is a place in chemistry department where people go and read. And we also have those class of guys. Today they are in Heights, Amina Hall. The next day they are in Gorilla Gate. The next day you see them in Mekinzwa. The other day you see them in Alex. I hope you understand. But now those guys that you see and those guys in Cinema Drive, there was this kind of despise. This guy is not serious. No, it's not like that. If you don't interact with the systems, no matter how intelligent you are, your thinking will be narrow. And the more you interact with the system, the better. The more you interact with other people, the better. The more you interact with other cultures, the better. The more you interact with other religions, the better. So it will shape you and be something else that you can model your career and forge ahead. Now, then I have discussed the opportunities and challenges in the present day operational environment for the pharmacy practice. I've just discussed all these things. So look at one thing, because most of us here are from Kano. I will not forget there was this discussion in the WhatsApp group that the patent and medicines vendors chairman was someone that was selling yam, doya, near Malankato. So when he saw the market relocated to Malankato Square, the market came to meet him where he was selling his yam. He decided to say, me too, let me enter into pharmaceutical business. The guy now, they said, is the chairman of the patent and vendors medicine. He has cross-carpeted from selling yam to selling drugs and is fantastically comfortable. So all these things, we need to really look at opportunities around us and exploit them. Next slide, please. Now, making and taking hard decisions. So why I put this slide is for those of us who might be interested in what I'm going to present, you need some of these tools to get yourself into where you want to be. Making a decision is to ask yourself, I am now in this part of pharmacy practice. I want to cross over to the PSM profession. You make a decision. So taking a decision, when you come, PSM is a vast area. As I will present, it's a vast area. There are areas that you will take, either PSM in malaria, commodities, HIV, TB, or immunization supply chain, like my brother Rabiu that I've seen also on this call. I'm glad because I've made reference to Rabiu. Rabiu is doing excellently in immunization supply chain. Then, or you want to cross over to humanitarian logistics, the World Food Program, action against hunger. So many vast field are in PSM. So it's left for you. Like the ladies have always advised, you can decide to take a career in procurement. Procurement alone, specialize in procurement. If you specialize in procurement, as a lady, you don't have that constraint of traveling, because most of us travel like hell. We travel a lot. So if you are the type that you might want to be in the office from 9 to 5, maybe procurement career will be the best for you. So this is taking decision now. Now, how does the current situation compare with the previous situation in our career paths? I have discussed this in my opening introduction. If you are in the hospital now, you realize that when you started, the opportunities that were there in the hospital environment, the infrastructure, the commodities, they are no longer there. We are just trying we are struggling to practice wherever we are. So look at the current situation and ask yourself, is that where you want to remain? How do you move? What do you require to move? So these are some of the things that you need to. Then, do you have the lever to make a decision? This, Nigerians, they will say lever. I'm sorry, I'm putting it the way Nigerians put. No, he doesn't have a lever. In Nigeria, if you have a lever to take a decision, it means you have the mind to take courageous decision. Courageous decisions. How do I transit from one career to another? I remember when I started in 2004, 2005, one of my colleagues that was working in the government, Hamisu, you don't have job security. Well, I said, because then 2004, 2003, 2006, 2003, 2004, I was in NAFDAC. And when I was not working in NAFDAC, I was working with Dora Akunyeli, Technical Services Unit. Then Oga Hashim Yusuf was our director then. I recalled, before NAFDAC, I was in Jigawa. So when I was in Jigawa, I had an opportunity that exposed me to immunization services. And what of an opportunity was it? Was when we are in ABU, when Jigawa was created, there were no medical professionals. I was in pharmacy, Dr. Abba was in medicine. So Dr. Abba, immediately after internship service, he just got his posting to government house. He doesn't know working in the hospital. He was the physician to the governor. So Abba, as my friend, he saw me in the hospital. He became executive secretary of primary health care. He started engaging me in activities of primary health care agency. I was in Heart Agent Hospital, but engaging me in their immunization exercise in Jigawa. So then I became, that was how I got romance with fieldwork. At that stage again, I'm sorry, I'm giving you stories, but in between, my presentation is also applying. At that point, there was this immunization that was coordinated by the National Program on Immunization, that is NPHDA now. They will send facilitators from Abuja to all the respective local governments, and they pay them very good money. They will send you to a particular local government in Jigawa. You will go and work for a month and come back and receive about 200,000 naira of 1999, 2002, 2003. 200,000 naira then was big money. So Dr. Abba said, Hamisu, let me nominate, he gave my name to MPI then in Abuja. To be honest, I didn't know. But my directors then at the Ministry of Health were just chilling to get that opportunity. So when they saw my name, look at this guy. This guy was in the hospital and they're bringing him here. Well, it's a lot of story. A lot of crisis took place. I got posted to Katsina. I worked in about 4 local governments in Katsina. I was posted then to Kano. Then my work in Jigawa was still going on, but still I was engaged in immunization exercise. So you can imagine the level of comfort that I had. I was flexible in my working environment, and I was also useful in the immunization environment. So then I got to NAFDAC. So when I entered NAFDAC, I realized I locked myself because I was used to the field. My salary shrinked. My salary shrinked. Please, I'm so sorry. I'm presenting at home, and you know the disturbances at home. Please. So I realized I was not doing well in NAFDAC. One day, a woman I have met in the course of my fieldwork in Kano, Dr. Abimbola Shawande, came to NAFDAC. Sir, Miss, where are you? We'll be looking for you. What are you doing in NAFDAC? I said, Madam, to be honest, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. And she engaged me. She engaged me as a consultant. I started as a consultant 6 months. From there, I transited. Before you know it, I find myself where I am. What I'm saying is that I have pursued a career in PSM. And now I'm making a living out of PSM. You pursue a career, you get to a certain level. Don't allow yourself at that level. Try and make a career out of it as an independent person. As an independent person. Next slide, please. So how do you prepare yourself for available positions? Do you want to venture into the global health environment or humanitarian services? Do you want to do procurement and supply management? Do you want to do immunization supply chain? Do you want to work in HIV, TB, and malaria? Do you want to work in essential medicines, pharmacovigilance, or humanitarian logistics? But above all, in all of this, you require a skill in project management. Why do you require a skill in project management? Is because, next slides, please. Almost every intervention in the global health and humanitarian interventions are implemented in form of projects. So if you don't have a skill in project management, you may be disadvantaged. So as a pharmacist, the first I will advise you is, if you want to transit into a PSM career, start with your project management. There are so many courses to take and get into and be a project manager. And I have given some websites here. Next slide, please. These websites that I have given, they are free websites where you will get trained. You will get trained in logistics management. You will get trained in PSM. You will get trained in immunization supply chain. And there is also Udemy. Udemy courses, they are cheaper courses. They are cheaper courses that you can take without any sweat in terms of financial constraint. Please excuse me a minute.
Pharmacist Ibrahim?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How many minutes do we still have for? How many minutes for him?
Chairman, are you cutting me?
No. We're not cutting you. We just want to find out so that we can plan appropriately. He has like another 15 or 20 minutes. How many minutes does he have?
I think that's like 5 minutes more.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we'll give you, please try and just see how you can move faster.
Okay. Okay. So these are courses that you can take for free. And let me tell you, going to do masters is good, but if you say you want your master's degree to get you into PSM environment, it may be very difficult. You have to get the right and the required skills. So let me go back to my slides. Next slides, please. Next slides. Okay, so now you have taken those courses for free, and incidentally, you find yourself, because some of you have seen, they are working in NGOs as I'm talking to you. Some of you want to aspire to be. So you now specialize. Specializing in procurement, just like I proposed to the ladies, is to take CIPS courses to be certified as a procurement expert with the British Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. It's a very lucrative course. Unfortunately, it's very expensive. Next slide. Now, apart from the basic project management courses that I've advised, do you want to see yourself as a project manager? There's a certification called PMP certification. These are courses that you take over a period of, let's say, 1 year. But for most of us that are in the NGO world, I will advise you to take the Prince 2 certification. If you qualify as a project manager, you don't have any boundary where you work. You will work in a lot and in a number of organizations. So Prince 2 is project in controlled environments. So that is the Prince 2. So the certification is expensive. If you want to take it as an individual, it may be expensive. However, for those of you guys that are interested, we can pool ourselves together. I can link up with the Prince 2 team. If they can subsidize, let's say for 100 people, they can charge them this much amount and they get certified as Prince 2 professionals. Next slides. Next slides. Okay, specialization in immunization supply chain. I have started briefly in immunization, but I'm not doing immunization. And to be honest with you, one of the most vast area now is immunization supply chain. And I have included some links here that are very important resources for you to specialize in that field. 1, 2, 3, they are there. However, my brother Rabi Foge, I saw him on the call. I don't know whether he's still there. Rabi, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm on the call, sir.
Yes. So I'm making reference to you because we are so proud of what you are doing in immunization, and Ravi has made a name in that field. I apologize. I wrote your number without telling you. Please, it's because I know I can do that. Please.
It's okay, sir.
So you can link up with Rabi. Rabi is doing very good in immunization. Next slide, please. So humanitarian logistics. Now, if you are doing PSM of TB, malaria, and HIV/AIDS, that is, you find yourself like where I am in the global fund environment. Humanitarian logistics is so wide, and the lead logistics UN agency is the World Food Program. Wherever they are, the coordination of logistics activities are saddled with World Food Program. So there are courses you need to take to venture into humanitarian logistics. And in the sites I gave, there is a site called Disaster Ready. That site, Disaster Ready, there are a number of courses you can take and become a vast with skills in humanitarian logistics. Next slide, please. So many courses that will prepare you for career in humanitarian logistics. I have said, I have brought it here. Here, the courses are free, and there are about tens of certificates that you can take and prepare yourself in humanitarian logistics. Why I'm saying this is that if you take these courses and somebody has a master's degree and you happen to apply and they see these skills that you have, the way you will speak to the interview panel will be much different from somebody with a master's degree, but without that requisite training skills. So these are some of the things that you need. Next slide, please. I'm concluding my presentation. But before I conclude, I have to summarize. I have started a career in supply chain. I have worked with organizations, gathered a number of skills to a point, please listen to this, to a point where I feel I want to be independent on my own as an international consultant. I resigned from full-time work in 2015. And from 2015 to date, I have clients that always engage my services to work in 4 countries: Nigeria, Malawi, Sudan, and Pakistan. Why I'm saying this is that if you're in an NGO environment, you have an opportunity to transit as an independent person. Nobody pays you salary. So instead of fearing to retire, you might find yourself eager to be on your own and make a living out of it. And it is that privilege that Allah has given me. I was able to set up a pharmacy company and engage some people to manage it. I'm not managing I'm sorry, I'm not sounding immodest. I apologize for this statement, but I'm just telling you that you get the skills you require and be involved in other positive areas apart from pharmacy. I'm a pharmacist. I found myself in PSI industry and still have pharmacy, by the way, as my business, another business line. So 1, do not be deceived by job security that keeps you in your comfort zone without exploring other opportunities. I met young ladies on Instagram. They make cakes and they are pharmacists and they're doing very well. There was this girl that I also met, a lady that is so innovative. She came up with disposable sanitary pad. What is more useful in our midst now is disposable sanitary pads, because we have so much less privileged women that cannot afford to buy the proper sanitary pad. She makes it and she's making a living out of it, and she's a pharmacist. I always envy her. There are so many of them that have delicacies. They can aspire to have a restaurant. So if you develop yourself as much as possible as described above and remain on the wrong career paths, you will find it very difficult to cross over. If you are comfortable without trying to take a decision to move, because whether you like it or not, you will retire, and retirement is movement. So the more you move to transit to other greener areas, the better. Allah manage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pharmacist Hassan, for your presentation. The presentation was quite unique. You shared your personal experience. It was very practical and a lot of information for people to develop their career path as they go on. So thank you for a job well done. There will be opportunity for you to also continue the discussion during the question and answer session. So thank you. Just to say that with my few years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry, I have found out that it's quite different from the NGO business. The ecosystem of the pharma industry is a situation where you look at the private business where you have the distributors, wholesalers, and retailers on one hand, and then you have the government business in the other hand, and also clinics. But in the NGO business, it's completely different. It's a complete different ecosystem and a different key opinion holders. I did a stakeholder mapping, and I was able to identify over 50 organizations, ranging from Global Funds, UNICEF, UNIT-8, MMV, Malaria Consortium, a lot of organizations. And interestingly, in each of these organizations, USP, you find that there are pharmacists in that NGO. I know for certain that for WHO Nigeria, we have a Hamzat. I know that we have 2 pharmacists in Global Fund and WHO, Akonlao and Abajon Sule. We have a sugar in USP. So you find out that even when you go to supply chain, you have a guru like Yusuf Babaye that is also there, who is already heading some organizations outside of Nigeria for the past 10 years. So yes, there is a lot of opportunity there. However, as Pharmacist Hassan has said, you need to work hard. You need to develop those skills and competencies. And he has given you those links to go and do. So it's not going to, you will not get the job if you do not develop those skills. So we'll come back during our Q&A sessions and discuss more on that. Can we go to the, I think the final discussion, yes, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, exactly. Yes, we are going to the final presentation by Pharm Jamilu, but please let me borrow your 1 minute out of your time, though we have wasted a lot of, not wasted, we have taken much time of your time for the presentation. Just marrying the 2 presentation or the 3 presentation, let me give my own experience just for 1 minute. I'm a pharmacist and I have both in education and training. So, but when I came here in Australia after finishing my advanced education, I like what Pharm Umar said. You study the environment and see where you can explore. And when I finished, yeah, I studied the environment and I realized that project management is really selling in the environment I am. And from the experience I have in the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, where we did one project which has to do with project management. And from there, I did some courses like what Pharmacist Hassan said. I did some courses, free courses on Coursera and Udemy. And then I did some online Google project management certification. And I applied for some senior project management position. And within 1 week, I was invited for the interview. And I went for the interview in the morning. And I had the interview. I drive back home. On my way back home, they called me. Like, we have a meeting and then we decided to offer you the job. And we are calling to see if you accept it. And I said, hey, why? I came for the interview for the job. Yes, I accepted. So I hear them at the background saying, yeah, Brian accepted the job. And and that's how it started. I started the job as project management. And it was the team that reviewed the Tasmanian government response to COVID pandemic, which is a high, a classical, or I would say highly confidential report to the government. So just to tell you how you can explore any available environment, like what the second presenter said. So going to the next presentation is by Engineer Jamil Abdullah, who, as we introduce every other speaker, he's a trained engineer with a first-class degree in computer and a graduate of Stanford University Graduate School of Business. He has over 6 years of extensive experience in risk management and advisory services. Engineer has led and executed projects across diverse industries in banking and financial institutions, telecommunication, energy, and government sectors. He was a senior risk advisory service of many firms, including Deloitte and Touch, a global Big Four consulting firm. He's currently holding a senior specialist role in risk management for a major financial institution in the United Arab Emirates with an asset value of over 150 billion United States dollars. Mr. Engineer Jamilu, the floor is yours. Hello, Jamilu, are you there? Hello? Hello, Engineer Jamilu.
I just saw him, honestly.
Yeah.
No, he's there. I think he's trying to unmute himself. He's having a
Okay.
technical challenge. Yeah, so I think it will be resolved soon. Still not yet resolved.
Just a second. Hello, please do let me know if you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry for the little hiccup. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. Without wasting much time, I mean, the bar has already been set very high. Very able people have already done so much. So it's kind of difficult for me already, but I will try to see what we can do. So the presentation today is around career opportunities in the financial service industry. And when preparing this presentation, I had sort of a dilemma. Are we going to focus more on facts and tips and everything? Or we're going to kind of focus more on personal touch, personal journey, probably something that I have went through, and try to relate it to your own stories, because our brain naturally are wired to kind of respond more to stories than say to just having raw facts. But I was taking something a bit more riskier, taking an approach where we're going to kind of garnish the two together. We would have some tips embedded, and then a personal story of how I was able to also do that, coming from an engineering background and then finding myself in the financial service industry presently. So can we please move to the next slide? Yeah. So I try to break down the presentation into phases, starting with the first phase, which is the pre-graduation phase, when you're already in the university. So actually, if you're trying to build a career, you don't really start doing it when you're out of the university. You actually start doing it from when you were in the university. If you wait until you graduate, then you're kind of a bit late. But as they say, the best time is always now. So even if you have already graduated, your best time is now. You don't procrastinate and you don't keep dragging your legs. But from my own perspective, just a quick story. I kind of become conscious about my career somewhere around 300 level, right? And because most of my friends in school are either studying pharmacy, medicine, or other health-related courses. And just to even say, initially also I was admitted to study pharmacy, but then I kind of changed course, going to engineering in 100 level itself. So it's kind of a risk on my own part. And going into engineering, it's tend to be a bit more uncertain, unlike people in healthcare industry, where like coming out, you know, some specific sectors, some specific industries that are going to absorb you. Even from your internship, fresh out of the school, you would have an internship opportunity for 1 year, which you will be gainfully employed. I mean, coming from university, 120K, 150K, it's a lot, right? So, but for people from engineering, you don't have that luxury. So you just have to fend for yourself, or else you would be a glorified secondary school math teacher or physics teacher, right? So I was like, okay, I don't have that opportunity of getting an internship that would pay 100K. And even if, say, I graduated with an engineering, there is no any specific industry that is just for engineers. So it's either I go into academia, which pretty much everyone can go into, so it is not unique to me, or I move into, say, the armed forces at direct short service course. So I have explored all these options. And I was telling myself, is it really something that I will be happy with down the line, right? And I did my evaluation and I noticed, like, no, this is not something that I will be able to be happy with as a career. So I looked at some other opportunities in the federal government, NCC, NNPC, and all the others. But then the challenge around there is the nepotism, which we all know about, right? So it's not an environment where, like, you would say the reward system is more about, okay, what you're offering, the capabilities that you're bringing, that you're kind of bringing on board, but more about, say, okay, who stand for you, whose candidate are you, and stuff like that. And people don't even really like do the job per se. People will come around 11, leave around 2. And so for me, I feel personally, this is not the kind of space I want to be. I want to make an impact. I want to not just earn money, but still make an impact that matters. So I'm still not convinced. Yes, there are no opportunities, but you don't just limit yourself to say, okay, you will take whatever comes your way. No target. If you set out without a destination, wherever you end up is a destination, is home, right? You need to be specific. Although there are no opportunities, you need to still be selective. You need to set a bar for yourself, aim high, right? So that even if you're not able to meet up with it, aim for the stars, right? That's what they say, like aim for the stars. Even if you're not able to meet up, you will end up with, say, the moon or something like that. Can we move to the next? So what did I do? At that point, I don't really know what I should do. So I will just start looking for things, going online, searching for on LinkedIn. I didn't even know about LinkedIn. I don't even know how to pronounce it. First thing, I know I was calling LinkedIn LinkedIn, right? So, but then later on, I was corrected that it was actually meant to be pronounced LinkedIn. So I went on LinkedIn. I got intimidated, which is very much for everyone that got into LinkedIn for the first time. You will get intimidated by the profiles that you see, the people that you see, and everything. So I set up my profile. It's nothing to write home about, nothing to build in. But then I started looking into it, searching for people, looking for people in a particular set of industries. Like, I will just be taking screenshot, right? This is the profile. It seems interesting. I will look. It's like an open CV for so many successful people. You can go through their career trajectory, the degree they studied, the organization they have worked with, the actual activity that they did, and everything. So, like, it's an open CV. So I just went there looking for different people's, like taking note, what professional courses have they done, what organization have they worked for, how long, and stuff like that. And I started reaching out to these people. And when you do reach out to these people, there is also a way to network and research. So you don't just reach out to someone to say, okay, you want to work for the organization, or you want to help them, you want them to help you get work. The moment you start doing that, you may not be getting a lot of feedbacks. But there is a better way to even network. So you can go online. You can check on LinkedIn itself. There are short courses on how to network, how to leverage networking and everything. You check how you can even reach out to people. Ask them for advice, right? I'm at position X. I want to get to position Y. How were you able to? I've seen that you started with so degree and you're able to move to this career line. Can you please help and guide me? This is something that I wanted to do. More often than not, people want to talk about themselves. People want to advise. People want to help if they're in a position to do so. So they will be able to guide. But the moment you start asking them about jobs, that's a turnoff, because more often than not, they are not in a position to just offer you jobs, right? So ask for guidance, ask for tips, ask for their stories, their experience, and everything. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now coming back a little bit to say the financial service industry, we'll just take a step back and even ask ourselves, what is financial service industry? To many people, when you say financial service industry, it's just the banks, which are like the institutions that we see. If you're from the northern part of the country, you just see bank branch, and your ideation of what a bank is just you go in, you deposit money, you take it out. But bank is beyond even that, right? What we see in our own communities is not really the financial service industry. So it's very wide, it's very broad. Financial services industry is basically anything that involves managing money or representation of money, right? So take a note of what I said, representation of money. So money is not really just the physical money that you deposit in your bank account, stocks, bonds, sukuk, and all these things that you hear, okay, central bank has issued bonds, federal government have issued sukuk, or Dangote, or all the banks. Now you may be getting emails from your banks that, okay, they are doing a share issue, they are trying to get you to buy their stock and stuff like that. All those are representation of money. All those are part of the financial service industry. You're a civil servant, you have pension. That pension money that is being deducted from your account, it's not staying with the government, because the moment we had the Contributory Pension Scheme Act, the government is not really the one holding your retirement money, your retirement benefits. All those deductions are going to other people, and those people are managing and investing those funds. You can also work for those institutions, right? It is not with the government. So the pension fund administrators, the pension fund managers in the pension industry, they are all part of the financial service industry. Then you have the insurance companies. Insurance companies, your car insurance, your health insurance, and a whole lot of other types of insurance offerings that are out there. They are also part of the financial service industry. You would also have stuff like asset managers, right? Multinational financial institutions like, say, Africa Finance Corporation, IMF, World Bank. That is at the multinational level. So all these are financial institutions, and they have a whole lot of opportunities. They have a whole lot of diverse roles that they are looking for. It may be, okay, from core technical financial background. It may be in risk management, which is all about managing uncertainty. Even in your pharmaceutical experience and everything, uncertainty is part of life. It's part of everything we do. So when people started using all these technical terms, say, okay, risk management, then at the conceptual level, it's all about uncertainty. It's all about managing losses that result out of an uncertainty. And we do that all in our life, whether you're a layman, whether you're a pharmacist, or whether you're in whatever background you come from. So the conceptual level is the same. It's more of an area of application that differs. So if you understand it from a conceptual level, you will be able to, okay, see from where you are now, how are you going to jump to the next step? So what do they look for in most of these industries? The demands are mostly around problem-solving professional, people that can conceptualize problem, provide solution to those problems. So you may have a course in, say, pharmacology, right? Drug interactions and everything. You know how the antibodies and the drugs actually interacts to kind of, you're the expert in that field, right? So you study that deeply technical concept, but funny enough, if you come to, say, the financial market, there are people that will take natural concept, natural phenomena, and try to model them in the financial market. That is their trade secret, right? They will try to model some drug interaction in the financial market. And if they are able to make some good returns, for the financial service industry, they don't matter. It's all about the outcome. So if you're going to bring the result, nobody really cares whether you're coming from pharmacy, nobody really cares whether you're coming from this background or that background. It's the result that matters. It's the solution that you're bringing on board. So if you can be able to cross carpet and kind of think on a wider perspective, the problems that you're dealing with in pharmacy, try to relate them to a wider scope, right? And apply the same set of problem-solving skills, you would be able to succeed. People don't really get keep in financial service industry. It is not as licensed, as strict as, say, pharmacy. For pharmacy, you need to be licensed as a pharmacist to practice as a pharmacist. It's not the same in financial service industry. It's about who can get the job done, right? Who can make their life easier. Next slide, please. Yeah, so now coming back to, say, the story part, right? Just a bit of an insight into, say, my story about this. So internship and service. The moment you get out of school, first thing is internship, and then going for your national service year. So when I graduated, first thing is I don't have the kind of internship that you guys have. So I have to look for something else. I reach out to organization from LinkedIn. I have been reaching out to people, asking them questions, a day in their life. What do they do? From, say, just ask someone, yes, please, what do you do as a job, right? Some will respond, some will not respond, but if you send it to 5, 10 people, at least 2 would respond. And those responses, act on it. Try to do something about it. So I applied for internship to so many firms, big four consulting firms inclusive. None of them actually, some didn't even respond to my application. So, but I had to settle for like some second tier consulting firms with very low payout, which I think many people, if I tell you the amount that I've been paid, even my dad was like, I don't think this is a good idea because it's in Lagos, then Ikoyi, and they're offering to pay me 35,000 naira. And the accommodation that I was staying with my uncle is in Festac. So if you know how far Festac and Ikoyi is, 35,000 naira will not even service your transportation. And what did I do? Fortunately, when I was in school, I had Shell scholarship, right? So I had some savings from that. I have to use some of my saving to augment for my transportation and upkeep, because what I'm being paid as an intern is not enough to even pay for my transportation. But why do I accepted that? I accepted that because I know where I'm going to. That is not the destination, that's a path. I'm using, yes, organization are trying to use you, also try to use it to your own self. I will take care of themselves, right? So I took that opportunity and I put it, I put in my all into that. And good thing was there was COVID coming in, and then there were so many downtown in the business environment, and many organizations are now trying to cut costs. And trying to cut costs, meaning the big organizations in Nigeria cannot afford the multinational big four consulting firms. So now they have to go for the second tier consulting firms. Unfortunately, I was there. So while it was second tier, traditionally they won't get those big clients, but fortunately, because of the circumstance, now we were able to get big accounts like, say, NIDA. I think Issa Ali then was the MD of NIDA. We had some project with them. We had project with CBN. We had project with top tier telecoms company, MTN, Huawei, even banks, UBA, Stanbic, and whatnot. And the good thing about those kind of engagement is it is a high-level engagement. Yes, I'm an entry-level intern, but when you're going as a consultant, you're going as subject matter expert. And the people that you interface with are the high-level management decision-making individuals. So the kind of mindset they have is different from the kind of mindset that a regular junior or mid-level manager has, right? So early on, I was exposed to see, okay, how do the decision makers see things? For the decision makers, it's all about problem solving. It's all about result. They don't, you would say nepotism in Nigeria, you need to know someone, you need to know that one. Say, for a business owner, it's all about making profit. If you're the one to help them meet their target, our able chairman today, he's in Swipha. He will not care to hire his uncle. If I'm wrong, correct me, right? If he says someone that is his nephew will not be able to deliver on his target, help him deliver on his target, he wouldn't hire that person. Rather, he would be able, he would better prepare someone that would be able to exceed their targets, which will now cascade up to him also meeting his target. Because in the private sector, it's either your downlinks, your reporting lines have done their job well before you would be able to do yours. If they are not able to deliver, so you either have to come down and do their own responsibility to be able to meet up with your own, or you fail together. And when you keep failing for the first year, second year, investors will come in, and then they would have to sack the management, bring in another management. So it's about solution. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I have taken that opportunity, and within that 1 year, I was able to gain varied experience, exposure, and a whole lot of knowledge and experience. But then, as you're doing that, another thing that I wanted to stress here is pursue excellence is whatever you do. Whether you think you're being paid or you're not being paid enough, just put in your best. You're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. And excellence always speaks for itself. If you pursue excellence, success will follow you pants down. As they say, a Hausa, ba a kiwon dabbobi yanzu kiwon mutane ake. So most of the jobs that you get subsequently are a result of recommendation from your colleagues that you work with currently. People are looking at what you're doing. Are you dependable? Do you help them? Do you make their life easier, or do you make their life difficult, right? So this job, I was still serving. Someone there recommended me for another role with another organization. with friend of his was there, and they are having a challenge hiring that role. So he told him, like, this guy is very new, like he's still serving, but I think he can be able to do the job because he's doing it in our own organization. So if you are able to take the risks, please. So he put in the work already. I think they sent me the interview. He spoke to their HR. HR sent, asked me to apply. I applied. I did the interview the next day. And within that same day, they sent me an offer. Initially, I told you I was getting 35K as an intern. Guess how much offer they are making? It's 10x what I was earning. They are offering me 350K. That time I have not still passed out. I still have like a month to pass from national service, right? They are offering me 350K. And another thing beyond the financial returns also is that I will get the opportunity to not just limit myself to say technology risks, because initially I was just looking at risks from a technology perspective. Now going into this startup, it's a small organization. So I would have the opportunity to apply risks on a wider domain. So I would be looking at risks from an operational perspective. I'll be looking at risks from a strategy perspective. So it is no longer a technology concern. So I'm started moving to a different domain that is not really my domain, but I like that kind of challenge. So I took it on. And as a side note, right? Funny enough, the organization, it was a startup, it was a new organization, but the founder of that organization, if some of you knew about InterSwitch and something, so they had a startup earlier on. InterSwitch is the one that manages all these ATMs, online transfers that you do. So they're the one that facilitated the payment for all those interbank transfers, ATM payments and everything. They're the one that built the infrastructure upon which all this happens. So one of the developed a solution, QuickTeller, and InterSwitch acquired it in 2016 for 15 billion naira. 15 billion naira, that is what they sold that business to InterSwitch. So now they came and founded another company, Aka Payment, to build another solution. And at that time, they brought in Aminu Maida, the current executive vice chairman of NCC, as the CTO. So that time, Aminu Maida was just a CTO. I was looking at Aminu Maida as just say, okay, this is another person from Cisco. He was working in the UK. They brought him in as a CTO. So we work hand in hand with him together. And within like a year or two, Aminu Maida moved to NIPS. And then now he is the executive vice chairman of NCC. So you see, like, it's about the job that you're doing. Look at what skills you're going to get. So I was there with them for about a year. If you remember early on, before my service year, I was trying to get to this Tier 1 consulting firms. I wasn't even getting a response when I applied to them. But then now at this stage, a senior manager from one of the big 4 consulting firms was reaching out to me on LinkedIn. Initially, I was the one doing it. Now a senior manager was reaching out to me personally saying, please, are you interested to come work? Would you be interested to come work with us? And I looked at it, I evaluated at that point. I was like, okay, I have already gained some experience and exposure in this space. So going to big posts, it will also give it a bigger platform. They are multinationals. They are in pretty much every economy that is worth itself. They are in over 200 countries, right? And they have access to bigger platforms. So pretty much all the publicly listed companies in Nigeria, they consult for them. They consult for the federal government. They consult for different entities. So I moved in, and because I had a negotiating power then, because I had some experiences. So I was able to get in there as an experienced hire, as a senior consultant in their risk advisory services. So for people that have even went in through the normal route of say, okay, starting from entry level, becoming an associate 1, associate 2, associate 3, then becoming a senior and what's not. So they have not been promoted to that role. So I have sidestepped the conventional route. I have went and did something different. And now I was able to come in ahead of those people that went through the conventional route, even in this big 4 consulting firms, right? So I stayed in with them also. Next slide, please. So I stayed in with, despite the initial rejection, now I came in as a senior consultant and with leverage. And now with Big Pros, I was able to also gain an additional exposure. So now I have the experience, I have the capacity, and then I have the platform, because also you need to look at platforms, right? Platform speaks for you sometimes. So this organization is a big platform. they already have like most of the big companies as their clients. They have the Federal Ministries of Finance as their client. They have CBN as their clients. They have NCC and pretty much all the big institutions that you know. They are their clients. They are the one that advise them on setting policies and everything. So if tomorrow another agency is bringing on, say, PIA, Petroleum Industry Bill, or they are bringing in another policy whatsoever, they come to these guys to help them know what is the global best practice. And then they will be the one to advise them, say, this is how the policy should be. So this is the kind of work they do. And they also interact with, say, okay, business owners. Now they are not dealing with, say, employees, they are dealing with owners. If you go to Dangote Group, they will be dealing with Dangote as a client. If you go to Zenith Bank, they won't be dealing with MD of Zenith Bank or management of Zenith Bank. Rather, they will be dealing with Jim Obia, who is the owner of the business. If they go to UBA, their client is Tony Elumelu. So luckily enough, that time we had UBA as a client. I think we had a contract, an annual contract that is worth over ₦1 billion with UBA, just an advisory services. And I was in that account. So I got an opportunity to say, okay, be in the same room with this kind of people, right? Sometimes you would be okay in the office, sometimes at their private residences, because work can come in at any time. Just give it your all, right? You need to put in the work, do what is required of you, and then you would see the result. So I kind of took whatever challenge comes my way. I don't really say, okay, this is not my job or this is not my role, right? Take whatever challenge comes to you. Most of the time, the problem has not really come before. So you and the most senior people are also trying to find solution as it is, because there is no template. Those problems has not happened before. So you need to be open-minded and try to take just have the mindset that you will be able to do it. You will be able to figure it out. As they say, the dots do not connect looking forward. You only connect them looking backward. So that is, I think, Steve Jobs, right? So you just take it, give it your best, and then push forward. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as I was with them, and at a certain point, I was kind of looking at it, because if you look at it, the way the Big Four consulting firms are structured is most of the deliverables usually stop, technical expertise usually stop from the senior roles. So the moment you started getting into management, it's not more about, I think it's the same with pretty much most organizations. So the more you start moving into managerial roles, it's about financials, it's about the business being good and everything. And I was like, okay, at this stage of my life, I don't want to get into that yet. I want something else. Maybe because now my KPIs would be more around, okay, how many clients have you been able to maintain? How many clients have you been able to meet your revenue target and stuff? So I was like, okay, let me look for some other opportunities. And also I was looking at, say, okay, the Nigerian marketplace, because as at that time, I have kind of worked for pretty much all the big companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. If you look at the banking industry, we have this 80-20 rule. So the 20% of the business, top 5 banks control 80% of the market. So if you take like top 4 banks in Nigeria, like Access, UBA, Zenith, and say, what is this other one? Access, UBA, Zenith, the Fugas, right? So they are the ones that control 80% of the market. So the remaining 80, all the other banks are struggling for like 20%. So if you have worked with these people, you have no time spending your time with all these other smaller institutions that are fighting for the crumbs, right? Same thing with the other sectors in telecoms, same thing with, say, other productivity sectors. So I was like, okay, I have kind of seen what is obtainable in the Nigerian market. It's time to kind of look for something beyond that. So I started looking for opportunities outside Nigeria. And luckily enough, I have received offers from Deloitte Ireland, UK, and some institution in the United Arab Emirates. So if you look at it, then I was trying to balance, okay, between this, which one should I take? For personal reasons, I took some, say, okay, what really would work best and stuff. You have some personal consideration that you need to make. You look at some financial considerations and everything. I later settled on for UAE. But then at that time, interestingly, Nigeria started having that diplomatic issue, the visa issue and everything. But one thing is, if you believe that you're going to get through, right, just know that whatever it is, you'll be able to get through it. I didn't take that as a challenge to say, okay, I'm not going to pursue with this thing. Then luckily, the institution that I'm going to happens to be like partly owned by the government. So they were able to waive that visa restriction for me. Not only waive that, I was able to get, because one of my concerns that I raised with the hiring team was like, in the Middle East, for people who knew, it's like most of your stay and residency is tied to your job. So I was like, I'm not comfortable with that, right? Because the moment you lose the job, you kind of have to start all over again. So I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with that. I have raised that concern. So you need to be bold as well. In as much as you're trying to seek something from someone, if you have a concern, raise it, be bold. So I raised this with them initially, that this is one of my things that, like, this is one of the negative points for them. And I have some other options and everything. So they were like, there is a new program that the government is piloting. Initially, they have this golden residency status, where it is only for people that invested in the economy. So probably if you invest around 2 million dirham, I think, they would give you some long-term residency and everything. And they were like, okay, they are considering this for some pioneer talent categories. And I was like, okay, if you don't think my talent is good enough to be part of this, then probably I may have to go with the Europes and everything. And they went back. Their human resource department spoke to their co-investor, which is like the investment arm of the government. So the like in Nigeria, we would say, okay, Nigerian Sovereign Investment Fund. So Abu Dhabi Investment Council actually are part of the government. So they invest, they own 70% of the organization. They were able to like say, okay, we'll get you a long-term residency, 10 years. You don't need to maintain a job. I can leave the next day, and my residency is still valid and it's auto-renewable. It's more or less like permanent residency in the country, right? You can go in any way you want and you still come back as a permanent resident. So I was able to get that. And then I moved into the institution. They're not as even, say, doing technology or whatsoever. It's more on, say, financial risks. So now I have moved on from technology, from engineering, and now completely into the financial side. So I'm looking at it now, but finance from Eric's perspective. So trying to manage uncertainty, try to manage losses and everything. And they have huge amount of capital to manage, right? It's over $150 billion. So they can spend anything to optimize, even if it is 1%, 2% losses. So it's very big for them. So I got into this role, and presently I'm with them. Next slide, please. Sorry, time. So key takeaways, right? I bore you with a lot of stories. But what I'm trying to say in all of this is networking is crucial. Build genuine connections. When you're trying to reach out to people, you need to network well. You don't just go out and try to, nobody owes you anything. We have this entitlement mentality that probably someone needs to give you a job. Nobody owes you any job. You need to work. You need to put in the work. So nobody will just hire you out of the blues. You need to put in the work. The moment you put in the work, people are more than ready to stand in for people that are capable, because it's a thing of pride for them. Imagine someone that is in a senior hiring position in an organization. He spoke for you to come in, and then you are not able to deliver. It's a shameful thing for him. But if you come in and you're able to over-deliver, to exceed expectation. So it's a thing of pride for that individual. So if you are not capable, nobody would really stand in for you, right? Nobody will stand in for you. So you need to put in the work, know how to network well. You don't just do things on the fly. Learn how to network properly. Take online courses, they are free. You don't need to spend your time mostly on TikTok and Instagram. Spare some hours. Go to these online platforms, how to network well, how to reach out to people. You ask Google, you ask ChatGPT. The technologies are becoming more available and more easier to do all this stuff. Next thing is about learning, like learn both hard and soft skill. Today, probably your internship, you're in the hospital. Your role is in the pharmacy department, but take extra opportunities. People will tell you, this one is Obasabi, he wants to take in so much. How much are they paying you? Don't do it for them. You're doing it for yourself. You know what you're targeting. Take extra roles. Go into jobs and roles that are not even meant for the pharmacist. If some other responsibilities that you think, okay, are applicable in other domains, take on those responsibilities. If it is with the operations department, the hospital's operation department, the hospital finance department, some reports and everything, try to get into those. Expose yourself to other domains. More often they will be able to welcome you. Try to adapt, open to unconventional opportunities. And then last thing is cultivate a reputation for reliability. If you are not reliable, nobody would really stand in for you. Be reliable. when people know that they can rely on you, you can make their life easier. Wherever they go, they would go with you. Most of my job opportunities, as I told you, from the initial one, which was pre-service, which I applied for, all the subsequent ones were a result of recommendation from someone I have worked with before. So they already know that I have made their life easier before. So they are the ones like now speaking for me. And even when you go for the interviews, people will not try to drill down because they already know that person can deliver. And if they say you can deliver, then that's all. Because we're just looking for signals to say, okay, this person can do the job. And that's all that matters. Next slide, please. I think we're almost done. Or done. Yeah. So what am I trying to say? In conclusion, like trying to transition from pharmacy to financial service or any other domain, it's really possible. So long as you said it is going to be, so long as you put your mind to it, you will be able to do it, right? There are no, don't put a glass ceiling over yourself. Don't put limitation to yourself. Just believe that you, even if someone has not done it before, you can be the first person to do it, right? What are outliers for? What stops you from being an outlier? They will say, okay, this person is an outlier. He's the first person to do it. Why can't you, right? Presently, like I think the present MD of GT Bank, she's a pharmacist by training, right? But nobody really cares that she's a pharmacist. She's the head of GT Bank. GT Bank is one of the best well-run financial institutions in Nigeria. In terms of cost optimization, there is no bank that comes close to them. But she's a pharmacist by training, right? If you look at, compare them to all the other banks, they have the better cost to income ratio. They earn the highest amount of income on the smallest amount of cost, but she's a pharmacist by training. So challenge yourself. You will be able to do it. All the things that people will tell you, it's this, it's that. Don't limit yourself to just being a pharmacist. You can do all that you set your mind to. And there may be some gatekeeping and everything. If you keep pushing, the door will be open. Just don't believe with an initial no for an answer. Presently, so I'm still with this institution and I'm still looking to move for the next step, right? Because I'm becoming a bit comfortable. Like whenever you feel you're becoming comfortable, pardon me for the older generations and our chairman, they have stayed in organization for like 20 years, 30 years. In our generation, it's not like that, honestly. We can't really stay for that long. The stability, the world is moving at a faster pace and we have to move at a faster pace with it. So the thing about moving from staying with an organization for 10 years, probably maybe a 10 of the past, you're doing yourself a disservice. I don't think it's even advisable to stay for like more than 5 years with a single institution. Go out there, experience new things, push yourself. Like it may not be comfortable, but you still have to do it, right? Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Engineer Jamilu. Very fantastic presentation. Engineer Jamilu will not want me to call him engineer because he has transitioned from engineer to financial guru Jamilu. Very good presentation. It's actually very interesting that Jamilu is now handling a risk management organization worth over 150 billion US dollars. Please hear me correctly. I did not say 150 billion naira. I said 150 billion US dollars. He's working in such an organization. Jamilu, am I correct?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, so can somebody tell me how much is the foreign reserve of Nigeria as at June? From my understanding, it's just like 34 billion US dollars, which is the whole 200 million of us. So you can see how things can happen.
And if actually, sir, not cutting you in, just for context. No. $150 billion.
No, I know. You are not managing it. You are not managing it. I know.
No. Not even that. Like I'm saying, like
you are not managing that organization.
Of how big the thing can be is the Nigerian stock market entirely, I think, is valued around $50 billion. So it means all of Dangote, Bua, MTN, Airtel, if you combine all the publicly listed companies in Nigeria, their entire worth is not up to this amount.
Very true. Very, very true. The point I'm trying to make is that first and foremost, we have an organization, PSI, bringing in experts. You are one of the experts. And I was happy that I met you just about 1 or 2 weeks when we started this journey. And you are able to share your thoughts very clearly. But basically, what I want us to take away from this is that it did not just happen. There was a conscious effort to make it happen. You told us that you started this journey right from your 300 level. So nobody should make any mistake that you will succeed without making an effort. You will not succeed without making an effort. Excuse me. People at times say, yeah, Jamilu is lucky. Yeah, Jamilu is lucky. He has some breaks. Yes, it depends on your definition of luck. There are two perspectives to it. Luck is L-U-C-K. Laboring, L, under, U, correct knowledge. So if you labor under correct knowledge and somebody says you're lucky, yeah, so be it. Another way to look at it is to say, you have prepared for this opportunity. He took his time to prepare for this opportunity, and when the opportunity came, he took it. So he was lucky. Yes, he's lucky. Ladies and gentlemen, we have spent 2 hours. We started with about 100 people, and as I can see now, we have 96 people still waiting. We're actually 2 hours, 20 minutes. We are now moving to the next discussion, panel discussion. I would like to please advise that we round up this presentation in the next 15 minutes. If it's okay. We have some questions which we will like to move to that discussion. But before we go that, Pharmacist Ibrahim, do you have any information or recognitions you want to make?
Hey, Pam Shaban will do that, sir.
Oh, Shaban, yeah.
Yes, sir.
No.
I would like to, okay, while Shaban is making his preparation, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Pharmacist Ayuba Tanko for attending this panel discussion. And I think he has also some questions to ask. So maybe when we start the panel discussion, Mr. Chairman, you can allow him to, yes, to ask his question.
I was trying to be anonymous. How did you find me out?
So your name is there.
Sir, I go to you. Check your WhatsApp message.
We don't like you.
I got you. And your picture is visible. So
yes, sir. So yes, sir.
Thank you very much. The next session will be
I don't know whether we should introduce Dr. Shaban before he now carries on.
No, we are going to work with the next session is the question and answer session, which both myself and Dr. Shaban will handle. Or Dr. Shaban, you have some other discussions before then.
Dr. Shaban,
Shaban may be introduced because you have not formally introduced.
Okay. So, Dr. Shaban, please.
Okay. Sorry. Just to briefly introduce myself. My name is Abubakar Shaban, the Deputy President of the Pharmacist Scholars Initiative. And thank you very much for joining us today. And we've been conducting this. I think this organization has been in existence for over 7 years, as earlier mentioned by our president when we started this. And it's all about mentoring. Our aim is to mentor younger generations and ourselves involved, you know. So by mentoring others, you develop further. So that is the general concept. So with that little brief introduction, I think let me share my slides for the questions and answers. Okay.
Yeah, so for the question and answer session, we have looked at the charts and we have brought out the questions for the meeting. Please, each presenter will have only 1 minute to answer the questions. We have like 5 or 6 questions, just 1 minute to answer the question so that we can close on time.
Is it visible now?
Not yet, sir.
So the first question, so Dr. Jahaban, you can go ahead and read the question.
Yeah, but can you see my slide, please?
Very clearly, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Just before then, please, I would also like to acknowledge Prof. Bolajoko Aino, which is from University of Lagos. She has been head of department in clinical pharmacy, and she was one time, I think, the dean, if I'm not mistaken. We are glad to have you, Prof. And I think she also
thank you, sir.
Yeah, she asked a wonderful question. She's saying, as a professor, is it too late for her to start? So I don't know which one of the person, anyone
should
answer that before before we go to the other questions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman should answer the question.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
No, it depends on what she wants out of the presentation.
Yeah, the question, is as a professor in clinical pharmacy now,
No, sorry, it wasn't a question. Hello. It wasn't a question, it was a comment that even as a professor, that means I can move on, I can move out.
Exactly.
For instance, I'm looking at that project management thing. I wasn't asking, I was just making comment that, wow, thank God I'm here. That even being a professor, I can move on, I can move out.
Yes.
Thank you
This is very fantastic, Prof. This is very fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much for that clarification.
Doctor, please, can I make a remark here? So
yes, thank
first,
you. Yeah,
I would like to acknowledge and recognize the presence of Prof. And it also shows the importance of seeking knowledge. Prof have decided to take her time and join us here. Prof, we thank you. And this is also part of the mentorship. The young generations that want to make it like Prof should also need to work hard and go the extra mile. Prof is here, we are getting knowledge, and it is said that for anybody that has knowledge, he has the know, he will definitely have the edge wherever he is. So once you have the know, you will have the edge in whatever you do. Thank you very much, Prof. Next question, please.
Yeah,
thank you,
so this question is from Comrade Julde Kumo, who is saying, thank you, Pharmacist Umar, for this wonderful presentation. Do you think online reservation and home delivery of medications and house nursing can be successful in Nigerian healthcare industry like that of Pharmaerica in US? Thank you.
All right, I have had this question quickly in 1 minute now. You see two things now. It was the realization of the fact that this was possible in the first place, that the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria now gazetted the online pharmacy regulations gazette that permits the delivery of over-the-counter drugs on an as-needed basis to individuals that do not physically present themselves in the pharmacy down home. Secondly, there are companies that do that. There is Jumia Health, there is Drug Tracking, there is Hamidas, there is NetPlus, there is Health Plus. There are a lot of online platforms where you can get delivery of medications. The only caveat to add is that any substance by law that is listed under the provisions of the Dangerous Drug Act, that is, it is liable to addiction.
We are losing you from Ahmed.
Not the subject of online. Myself, any drug that is the subject of Dangerous Drugs Act, which is a legislation in Nigeria, is not the subject of online commerce. But apart from that, there are companies like
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's from my side alone, but from Ahmed Umar, we are losing you. Your network is fluctuating.
Yeah.
From Ahmed Umar?
Yeah, so I think we are losing Pharm Umar. Just to say that the world is evolving and we are also...
Yeah, can hear you.
Pharmacist Umar, we can't hear you. The line is breaking. No, we got basically the information you are saying. That the industry is evolving and that eventually Nigeria will get to where the United States is. And currently, I'm aware that the PCN is working to allow some certain degree of online pharmacy and other healthcare addresses. Thank you. Can we move to the next question?
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now clear now?
Yes. So
Yes.
the next question
Can you hear
is
now clear, Mr. Chairman? All right.
Yes, we are moving to the next question. I'm sure you have another.
The next question is from Caleb, who is saying, thank you, Engineer Haruna, for your presentation. Please, how can one get reliable contacts of where solar panels can be massively imported for solar electrical energy massive generation in Lagos? From Engineer Haruna is not here, but as he rightly said, I think Engineer Jamilu can answer some if he can. If not, then we can get the question and he will get back to you through the email or the links we have. Thank you. So, Engineer Jamilu, can you answer this or we get this response back through the email? Yeah.
I think it will be better if we can get it back through the email.
All right, thank you very much.
Exactly.
There are a lot of contacts in Lagos. I think if you just Google, you will see a lot of them in sight. They are all over the place. It's not something that we should worry. But we will ask Engineer Haruna if he has. We will share it to the link eventually. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
next
you very
question,
much, sir. Yeah. So the next question is from Abubakar Usman, which is saying thank you, sirs, for the wonderful discussion. My question is that how can someone find balance between their passion and their current job, especially when the job is completely different from what they desire? Thank you.
I would like to come in here.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, like what Abubakar is talking about is transition. So you're already at point A, you want to get to point B. So what happens is sometimes what you're doing day in, day out, at first, when you look at it, it may seem like they are entirely different. But more often than not, like 7 out of 10, what we do from a conceptual level can be applied in something else. It's just the area of application that differs. So there may be some job skills, some key things that you're doing today that you don't think applies into what you're trying to do next. But in actual reality, there are many parts of it that if you think critically, those skills would be applicable in the next job that you're trying to do. That is one thing. Try to think critically on what you're doing right now and see what skills can be applied, maybe in a bit modified form. So look for those. Second thing is like, if truly there are not much that you're doing that can be applied there, look at some of the skills that are in that job that you want to get to, then try to see, are there some of those that could be applied to your current job and they will be valued, right? For instance, you're in a hospital pharmacy setting. Probably your stock taking and everything is very manual. You put in, you do it in a book and everything. And now you want to move into where like probably they will be having Excel sheet, PowerPoint presentation. So try to kind of bring that into the hospital setting. Try to practicalize what you're doing. Your management, they will see the value and they would appreciate it. And you will be able to start practicing what you want to getting ready for what you want to get to next. Third step is, if this is still not possible, probably the organization is too rigid and they are not amenable to change, you can then start taking maybe part-time roles somewhere, right? Or even just keep building on the skills. The chances to practice those skills may not be there in a real world, but keep building the skills, right? And then you can look for an opportunity. Someone somewhere will give you the chance. The moment you build the skills, even if you don't have real world experience, someone will take that risk on you to be able to put it in. So long as they see that you have some key skills, you have developed some key skills, you have done some certifications, you have done some other things, you have participated in competitions. So they will see that as relevant as putting an effort, the zeal, the effort, the passion, and they will vouch for that, and they will give you the opportunity to come and practicalize what you're trying to do. Thank you.
So that was why I shared some sites that will prepare you enough. The first websites training that I've shared for those that wants to translate to PSM, they will prepare you extensively, to be honest with you. And you can even apply them where you are working and you will see the value. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. This one, I think it's more of
comments,
appreciation and comments. He said, we young pharmacists are hungry for opportunities beyond the national level. We want discussions that open doors of opportunities and broaden our mentality beyond the national to the global level. This will give us insight, courage, and interest to explore more at the global level. Thank you, pharmacist Habibu Muhammad, for that wonderful insight. So the next one is, please,
can I just make a remark on that?
Oh, all right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Basically, you see, for people to have opportunities will definitely be available. There will be opportunities. I would like to just share a little example of a concept which I'm sure most of us are aware of, called the Kaizen concept. It's a Japanese philosophy for continual improvement. It's an improvement in mindset and methodology, whereby you have small incremental changes and improvement. If today you graduate as a pharmacist and you want to start a career in anywhere, nothing stops you from developing your soft skills, your PowerPoint presentation, Microsoft Words. From there, decide which career you want to go. There are so many courses that you need to do. Develop yourself, get the knowledge, get the skills, and be ready for your opportunity. Thank you. Next question, please.
Yeah. So the next question is from Abubakar Sani to Engineer Jamilu. Please, where can someone take online courses on financial risk management?
Yeah, there are lots of platforms, right? LinkedIn Learning is one. YouTube. The thing is, YouTube, people look at it as it has everything that you want. So it's what you search for. It's what you engage with that it keeps giving you. So YouTube has a lot of quality content. Udemy, that's another learning platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Udemy
has a lot of quality content.
I have shared Udemy, and one thing with Udemy, if you make payments about just 10,000 naira for a particular course, you can take it for as long as you want. This is excellent. Yeah.
Exactly. So just be on the lookout. And one thing leads to another. From one course, you may hear a recommendation for another platform.
Exactly.
So it doesn't stop there. So just, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think the last one, I think I didn't get it here. So the last one is more of like, I think a remark or a request for the presenters, please, that it said your people may want to contact you through LinkedIn, if you don't mind. And so I think that is the request. So, and I believe that is something which you are ready, because you gave that in your presentation, Engineer Jamil. You also did that. So I think you are eagerly able to do that to others too. Thank you. So
thank you very much. I noticed Abubakar Magaji has been raising his hand.
Yes.
The directive was that we share questions. What's the question you want to ask?
Well, then, thank you to the organizers and the speakers, and good afternoon, everyone. My own is not specifically a question. I want to say, I feel, this is just my feeling, that we have not yet covered the fields, pharmacy-related fields, and there are opportunities that we have not yet explored. I would give example of the cosmetic industry and the food industry, where pharmacists are severely lacking. And I took the risk. I recently graduated just last year from Bayero University, Kano, and I got my letter of appointment to start my internship from AKTH, Kano Teaching Hospital. And then at the same time, I saw an advert. Before then, I saw an advert for talent.
Please try as much as possible to summarize. We've stayed for 2 hours. Just ask your question or pass your remark, please.
Okay. I want
just
to
1 minute, and I'll cut you off.
What I'm saying is there are a lot of opportunities coming down to Lagos here and see a lot of food manufacturing industry, of which I feel we can actually add value and safeguard our consumption, public consumption of goods and services. And if farmers can really consider these areas of food and cosmetics, it would actually add value to the society, and it's a good paying startup. Secondly,
thank you. I get your point from Abubakar Bagaji. Thank you.
All right,
so
thank you.
I think maybe you joined the presentation late. The first presentation I made was to say that there is a lot of pharmacy career opportunities. And we did mention some other unique opportunities before that. But the objective of this meeting is actually to opportunities. But yes, there is opportunity in the cosmetic industry and every other place. Before I hand over to Mr. Ibrahim, I would like to first and foremost thank everybody for joining this webinar. It has been an amazing close to 3 hours of meeting. We appreciate each and everyone that has participated in this webinar. We thank the organizers for doing a great job. It has been a lot of work, day and night, particularly when we have different time zones. Pharmacist Ibrahim Jato, I'm sure, has not slept for the past 24 hours because we were reviewing the things during that time. And still yet, it shows you why he's the president of PSI. He wanted the things to work. The same thing with Shaban. They have done quite well. For the speakers, I tell you, Nigeria has a hope. With the kind of leaders that we are having, people that are dedicated, people that want to give their best. Everybody that is doing this is pro bono, but the passion in which they brought this zeal to this meeting is quite interesting. Pharmacist Umar, I'm sure, called me more than 5 to 10 times, and he was unable to get me. Jamilu is now, even though the registrar will not hear me, we give you honorary pharmacist as Pharmacist Jamilu, because he has been doing a great job for us. The other guys are with us. So we have Umar and Hamisu. They are very passionate about the profession, as well as also encouraging and mentoring people. So we say a big thank you. I hope I have not forgotten anyone. But just to say that with this presentation, with this webinar, we want to inspire people to be better in what they are, but also look beyond the pharmacy profession. Gentlemen, there will always be opportunities. The question to ask is, are you ready for that opportunities? Are you waiting for luck, or you are going to plan? It is said that failing to plan means planning to fail. But there is a caveat. If you fail to plan, you will plan. If you fail to plan and you fail, you have failed according to your plan. Engr Jamil has planned and he has succeeded. So it's an exception. We want people to succeed. Every member of the panel that you have seen is unique in his career. In the panel, we have people from the academia, people from the hospital, engineers, people from NGOs. They are mostly pharmacists, but they have excelled. We can also borrow from the belief that even engineers are also moving to other non-engineering role. So the ball is in our court. Let's go for it. The opportunities are there. I thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, for this amazing coordination and so many golden words for us, the upcoming pharmacists. Thank you so much, the presenters, and I'll invite Dr. Abubakar Shaban to give the closing remarks.
I'm sorry, Doctor. Is there a question, Ayuba, or remark he wanted to say?
Yes, I think I wanted Shaban to invite him during his closing remarks. So, Abubakar Shaban, your closing remark, and anybody you would like to point out to say something. Yeah, I can see Abdulrahman bin Adam, the examination. I think the deputy dean.
No, yeah, don't worry, I'll acknowledge them.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this webinar titled More Than Just a Pharmacist. I believe you'll agree with me that it is 2 hours wonderfully spent on a weekend. Today's topics included digital entrepreneurship, global health procurement and supply management, career opportunities in financial services, and renewable energy industry options for non-conventional degrees. We hope these insights have broadened your career perspective beyond traditional pharmacy roles. Stay curious, that is the key. Stay open and explore the endless possibilities ahead of you. Thank you very much, and we look forward to future successes. And I would also like to use this golden opportunity to acknowledge some people. Forgive me if I am not able, maybe I didn't see the person. That's an oversight from me. I totally take responsibility for that. I would like to acknowledge the Assistant Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Services, Ahmadu Bello University, Dr. Abdurrahman Adamu. I would also like to thank you very much for joining us and being with us from the beginning up to this moment. Also, I noticed there is pharmacist Dr. Abrazak Ayuba, which is also has been with us. And once again, Professor B. Aina. And then I think finally, I will also like to use this golden opportunity to call on pharmacist Ayuba Ibrahim to kindly share the certificates of appreciation on behalf of Pharmacy Scholars Initiative. We will project or share the screen of the certificates, and then you'll be able to call the citations, sir. Thank you very much. So I call on the let me share the.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I think let me do it. Okay.
It's there already.
Okay, that's good. So pharmacist Ayuba Ibrahim Tanko.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. The floor is yours, sir. Help us to share the certificates. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Before I do the sharing of the certificates, I want to commend the organizers, the presenters, and everybody that have to do with the organization of this Zoom meeting. It's a very wonderful initiative, I enjoyed. I've never paid attention at any meeting for 3 hours continuously, but today I did, because everybody was catching my attention, and you put me a smart choice of chairman, or is it moderator? Because Abbas is a guru in all these management sciences. Thank you very much for recognizing me. So at this stage, let me go ahead and do the sharing. The certificate on the screen is that of my brother Abbas Sambo, FPSN, FPC Pharm. Where do I do? I will just
read out.
I will do what?
Read out. Just read out the certificate.
Okay. Pharmacy Scholars Initiative, Certificate of Appreciation. Let me wear my glasses. Sorry. You know, age has caught up with us. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to pharmacist Abbas Sambo, FPSN, FPC Pharm, in recognition of his phenomenal role as the chairman of the PSI Virtual Expert and Discussion Tag More Than Just a Pharmacist, held on 10th August 2024. Signed, Ibrahim Jataw Abubakar and Abubakar Sha'aban, PhD. Thank you very much. Young man, take your certificate.
Thank you very much, sir.
Should I go to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pharmacy Scholars Initiative Certificate of Appreciation awarded to pharmacist Umar I, Ahmed, FPC Pharm, in recognition of his outstanding contribution as the guest speaker at the PSI Virtual Expert Discussion tagged More Than Just a Pharmacist, held on 10th August 2024. Signed, as I already pronounced for Abbas. So there's no need to repeat the signing of the names. Thank you. Pharm Umar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The next certificate is there, sir.
Yeah. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Engineer Haruna in recognition of outstanding contribution as the guest speaker at the PSI Virtual Expert Panel Discussion tagged More Than Just a Pharmacist, held on 10th August 2024. Signed by the two signatories, the President and the Chairman Planning Committee. Thank you very much. Haruna Engineer Haruna Inua. You see, I've been calling everybody Pharm. Engineer Haruna Inua, please take your certificate.
Thank you, sir.
May I suggest something?
Yes, sir.
May I suggest something? Apart from the names, I think most of the words are the same. Is there any for repeating the word?
No, sir. You can just say it as certificate of
yeah,
appreciation.
because almost all the words are the same. So I cannot be calling the name, the owner of the certificate.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Hamisu. This certificate is awarded to Pharm Hamisu Hassan for his contribution as a guest speaker, at this forum. Hamisu, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I paid the rapt attention to you, and I was impressed by your supply chain achievement. Thank you very much. So take your certificates.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The last one is there, sir.
Okay. I'm still seeing Hamisu Hassan. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, it's there now.
This is Jamil Abdullah.
Yes.
Certificate of appreciation awarded to Jamil Abdullah in recognition of his outstanding contribution as the guest speaker at the PSI Virtual Experts Panel Discussion, tagged More Than Just a Pharmacist, held on 10th August 2024. Signed, Engr Jamil Abdullah. Take your certificates. And congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all for the certificate from me, and I hand over to our able chairman, Pharm Abbas Sambo. Thank you very much.
Yes, before the chairman make everything final, I would like to remind us that we have a link, a Google form we shared on the chat box, and I would like each participant to put down their name, their email address.
I couldn't complete your request.
Sorry. And we are going to use the email address to send your recording of the webinar, the webinar slides, and your certificate of participation. So fill up the form and provide this information to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all. I would like to thank everybody once again and to say that it is now time to act. What is not documented is not done. Take a sheet of paper, write what you want to do, have a plan. What, three months plan, 6 months plan, 1 year plan. Write it. Don't think about it. Write it. You must write it. Set an objective. Set a smart target. Specific, measurable, achievable, and time-bound. It's your own objective. Plan for it and go for it. Once you are ready, I keep saying it, once you are ready, the opportunity will come, but you should be ready to capture that opportunity. Thank you, and may God bless you as you move to your various endeavors. Thank you once again.
All right.
And God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As we said, this is Pharmacy Scholars Initiative. Somebody's talking to you.
Yes,
I'm saying, Pharmacist Abbas. Pharmacist Abbas.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is Pharmacist Idris Gaya. I sent you a chat to your WhatsApp. Please check it. Pharmacist Idris Gaya,
okay.
formerly Pfizer.
Okay. Is it something you want to discuss here, or it's a personal chat?
No. It's personal. That's why, because you are not ready, that's why I say I send it to you.
Okay. After. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, just a reminder, this is Pharmacy Scholars Initiative webinar series, which we did it in form of a panel discussion. As a reminder, Pharmacy Scholars Initiative is a forum for research mentoring and career development. And we have been doing these webinars consistently from inception in 2017 till date, and we keep on doing it by the grace of God. We will be seeing our invitation on social media handles, mostly WhatsApp and Facebook, and I've shared our email address as well as the link to the previous webinars on our YouTube channel. So we have another webinars in the subsequent week, and we'll still circulate the invites as we do. Thank you so much. We really appreciate everyone. Engineer, pharmacist, accountant, lawyer, Jamilu. Then our mentor, Pharm Abbas Sambo, our mentor, Pharm Hamisu, our mentor, pharmacist Umar Ahmed, who has been with us from inception 2017 during our inaugural meeting in collaboration with Bayer University. Up to date, he has been with us. We thank you, everyone, and my good brother, Dr. Abubakar Shaban. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, and see you in our next webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much.
Very good, Prof.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Leave.